Hi guys, so we're talking about the excretory system today, which is related to the digestive system. So the first thing is the parts of the excretory system that we're going to be talking about are pretty simple. We already talked a little bit about the large intestine and removal of solid waste. This is mostly going to be about removal of liquid waste. So it collects, the excretory system collects waste produced by cells, removes it from the body. Without this system, we would have a really hard time surviving because we would constantly be being poisoned by the wastes and things that we need to remove from our body, like toxins. So, first off, the first part we're going to talk about are the kidneys. The kidneys are filters, and we're going to talk more about that here in a second. Then there are these tubes called the ureters, which lead from the kidneys down to the bladder. And from the bladder, then liquid wastes are removed at the urethra. So that brings us over here to the kidneys. Now, you're going to fill in a little bit of missing information over here on the kidney picture, but basically you have to know that the kidneys are giant filters for your whole body. So urea is this chemical that is produced by the breakdown of proteins, and it has to be removed from the body. So it gets filtered out at the kidneys, and each section of the kidneys has what are called nephrons, which are little filters in them, and those filters pull the wastes and all the other stuff out, putting water and so on back into the system while removing the things that you don't want. And these get smaller and smaller as you go. The things I want you to notice over here were the renal artery that comes in. That would be your oxygenated blood coming in and dropping things off and providing glucose and whatever for the filters to do their job. And then you have the renal vein, which is pulling all of that blood back towards the heart and then eventually the lungs. So inside of the kidneys, you have the nephrons. Blood flows in from an artery into the nephron. The blood goes to this part right here called the glomerulus. So the blood flows into the glomerulus, which is where urea, water, glucose get filtered out. The urea goes to one place, the water and the glucose goes to another. Materials that are filtered out travel down the PCT, which is this proximal convoluted tubule, which is this rounded sort of bendy tubule here that comes down through this loop where the different molecules get either absorbed back into the bloodstream or they get moved over here to the collecting tubule where they stay waiting to be eliminated from the body. So for the most part, we now have gone through all of the parts of the digestive system, how they work and how they relate to both the excretory system and the circulatory system, which we just learned in our last unit. So hopefully now you know how everything relates to each other and what all the major parts are.